Thanks so much for being with me on this journey of the whole podcast thing. There's so many facets that I am learning and figuring out, and I hope real soon that I find my exact rhythm, but yet life is but a journey of learning and relearning. But today I'm going to talk about reviews, namely business reviews. And for the QVD salon in particular, why was it even called Quinn Hair Design and Company? And why do we refer to it as QVD? So some insider info about the owner and founder, moi, and why why we are and what we are and how we got here. First of all, why was Quinn Hair Design actually, why did I choose my own name? Must be kind of full of myself, right? No, actually, no. When I was faced with being the accidental salon owner, the only reason why it is called Quinn Hair Design and Company was because at the time I was very concerned about Google searches and about being confused with other salons. And I, at that time, had the opinion that if businesses were called 421 Main Street Salon, it would get lost in the shuffle. And would be confusing as to what that said business was about. And so I didn't want my salon company to get lost in any kind of translation of who owned it, who founded it, and I always wanted to make sure that you could find me. I wanted to touch on something else with you guys of a little behind the scenes of business reviews. I am with you in the sense of if I'm going to just pick up a coffee, please don't ask me if I can also leave you a review, right? Like we've gotten tired of it. Are we review weary? Why does every single thing require a review? I'm with you and I understand, and I too am weary of it. But here we are. Reviews are tied to your search engines of your business. And in a service based business like mine, of this one being a salon, spa, self care industry, those reviews are really important and they matter to people when looking for a services for personal care, such as mine. And they make a big difference. And I would put this with restaurants too. I feel like restaurants are very much dependent on the reviews that they get. I want to bring something to light. If you ever have these moments or times that you feel incredibly disgruntled or upset or dissatisfied with a said business, please know for all of the American can-do spirit of small businesses, right? That rah-rah, small businesses. My dad owns a landscaping company. Yay, rah-rah, let's do more. And for the government chit-chatter of supporting businesses and us going along with it of, yay, let the small business grow and thrive and make a difference. And the American spirit is that of, this is exactly what we have been founded and built on, that small business rah-rah. Joanne, when you are not happy with a small business, you need to speak up, girl. Yeah. So if you find yourself upset with service that you've received or anything from a said small business, please reach out. There's email, there's socials of DMs, there's phones that you can call and have a conversation with the business. I know what it's like to not get what I paid for or to find myself disappointed in end results. Truly, I do know what that feels like. I know what that looks like. I will lump myself into many business owners feeling we want you to actually be happy. We want you to be happy. We want you to have enjoyed the product or the service that you received. And if you are unhappy, please do not leave a nasty, ugly fueled review. And what I mean by that is if you have not contacted the business, if you have not notified them in any way of you being disgruntled, and I have to tell you, manager on duty at 8 p.m. when your said disappointment happened, that does not mean the founder, the business owner, and the other managers are all going to have this meeting to discuss what you didn't like at that very moment. FYI. It does take some time for brains to get together in a said business to have a conversation of what went wrong I kind of like the reference of the kitty cat who's trying to find a spot to sit down. There are these touch points, for those of you on video, of the kitty cat where you're walking around, and I would say as a business, you're kind of putting out those feelers of what went down. What went down when Joanne was here? What happened? Why did everything, turn upside down? Who was the waiter? What was happening in the kitchen? Okay. It takes a business a second to get their bearings of a full understanding of what went on. And even though Joanne is upset, Joanne, give us a moment. And that might be 3 to 4 business days, friend. It might be 3 to 4 business days. Ugly reviews live forever. Even if Joanne got her $100 back and she got a thoughtful handwritten letter from the founder and the waitress and the manager on duty, everybody being willing to fall on the sword because Joanne was unhappy, your review still lives on like forever. It doesn't go away, you guys. The bad review doesn't go away. And if the business is truly able to help you and to acknowledge your feelings, and if they decide that they can refund dollars, your review still lives on. And there are some people that will go back into the review and talk about it as to what the business was able to do to correct things or to acknowledge your feelings. And I think that's really amazing. But I'm also going to let you guys know there are plenty of disgruntled people that do not go back to those reviews when the business did address their concerns. But what in the world is my point in saying this? If you have something you need to share with a said business that isn't in a good light, please make sure that you contact the said business and save the best for last. If you've received incredible service and an incredible experience with a business, those reviews matter. Yelp, Facebook, Google, all of the things. It is the highest form of flattery, short of you referring family and friends to the said business or doing social shout outs, such as a story or a post saying, I went to the ABC restaurant and it was so amazing. You giving that personal recommendation on your own socials and tagging the said business is another amazing way of showing your appreciation and gratitude. Business owners, it shouldn't be that difficult to show what you love about your company and what your goal is and what you hope to achieve in serving your community, whether that is you being a roofer, whether that is you selling t-shirts, whether if you're like us, you have a salon and spa and some other businesses, putting some face and passion and directive behind your socials and your online presence should not be painful to you, and instead accepting it for what it is, accepting it that this is how the amazing people in my community are going to be able to find the goods that I sell or the services that I provide, and I'm happy to do that. And there's always going to be those judgmental people, which are probably those closest to you. Truth bomb. That are going to be your biggest critics and the people that aren't going to follow you anyway. But looking at who your future customers are, what you say matters to them. What you say matters, and your passions and why you do what you do. And that's where they are deciding to buy from you or not. The rest is down the line and how you can fulfill the said service or product. But I encourage you all to get behind the camera and to get beyond the annoyance, because your annoyance isn't going to make you more money. And it's not going to make me choose you because you're annoyed and you decide to remain invisible. It also is telling me that you're kind of resting on your laurels and always taking the path of least resistance. And that is only going to get you so far. In a world that is moving faster and faster, you need to be able to, at the end of the day, be able to say you've done everything you could and that you're working your best for your business. Not working yourself into the ground. Everybody calm down. But giving the best that you've got. And I think that that counts for a lot at the end of the day for the small business owner, that they're able to say to themselves, yes, I have done everything that I could. I have served those and cared for the employees that I have the absolute best that I can. And that means a lot. So reviews, why in the world does the salon have the name that it does? And social media presence. Small business owners, I am here with you. I've been in the trenches and I work hard as well. I'm alongside you, shoulder to shoulder. And I choose to not live in the glass castle. You know what I'm talking about. And instead, I'm interacting with our audience, our customers, our employees, and the community that I love and adore. Looking at the ways in which I can contribute myself, and that includes my family, and making this world a better place. So thanks for hanging in there. The Quinn Essential Life is a way of living thoughtfully, the art of using all of your talents and living a life with no regrets. I love to have a conversation and connect. I'm a bit of that weird avatar. Let's touch tails. And you can find me on Instagram at quinn.buys, and let's have a conversation about it. Until next time.